Hello, welcome to Peterborough Services. Andy, Warren and Stuart Watson. A bit later than usual, but we're here to look back at Ipswich Town's 1-1 draw at Lincoln. 2023, Stu. Great hopes for 2023 from an Ipswich Town perspective. Not the start that any of us were really hoping for.
No, another frustrating day at the office for Ipswich Town today. We said that the draw at Portsmouth last week would kind of... We would look at that one way or another depending on what happened today here at Lincoln. And it's ended up being a draw, which has meant undefeated over Christmas, but 5 points, which is not the points total that Ipswich Town were looking for, of course. And it means they drop out of the top two as well, which is a bit of a psychological blow. Sheffield Wednesday getting a big win today. Let's unpack the game a little bit, shall we? Ipswich were growing into this game. They were getting on top as the first half went on, and they had two massive chances to break the deadlock from set pieces. Lee Evans side-footed one wide from a bit of a training ground routine. Sam Morsey strangely taking a corner that we're not used to, but that nearly came off. And then another corner led to Luke Wolfenden absolutely smashing a shot against the underside of the bar, and the ball ricocheting down pretty near to the goal line and getting hacked clear. And as half-time was approaching, you were thinking Ipswich are making this their sort of game and getting on top. And then Lincoln were reduced to 10 men.
Yeah, at that point, it's a tough game away at Lincoln, a team that are unbeaten at home in League One, still are. And when you get to nearly half-time, growing into the game, beginning to dominate it, and then you see Lincoln go down to 10 men, you're feeling really positive. The stage was set. A little through ball attempt from Sam Morsey, which was a real feature of his game today, trying to play Caden Jackson away whenever he could. A little deflection on that pass, and that made it Caden Jackson's to win. He got the wrong side of Adam Jackson, some Jackson on Jackson crime results in a red card outside the box, free kick just on the edge of the box there. And Town couldn't take advantage straight away. Lee Evans, I think, had the free kick, and that was tipped over the top of the bar. But with 10 men for what turned out to be an hour of the game to go, you're thinking, actually, this is a great position for Ipswich, who have done okay, they've done all right to this point, they've got on top, now go on and win it. Yeah. It didn't happen like that.
Kieran McKenna didn't use the exact cliche post-match, but was very much alluding to the fact that sometimes, Andy, it can be more difficult to play against 10 men. His feeling was that Lincoln were trying to engage in more of an open game of football with Ipswich, which suited them in the first half, but as soon as they went down to 10 men, they engaged low block, make us hard to beat mode, which we saw at Portman Road earlier in the season, where they defended for their lives and saw out a 1-0 win at Portman Road, and they slipped into that in the second half. And there were some of those usual frustrations reared their head again, with Ipswich absolutely dominating the ball, dominating all the stats. But for all of that, there was a little bit of a lack of cutting edge, wasn't there?
There was, and we've seen that before. We've seen it against Lincoln before. We've seen it in plenty of games at Portman Road. But we haven't seen it against 10 men. And the big disappointment for me is, we'll get on to obviously the events of the second half in a moment, but the big disappointment for me is that there were long spells of that where you didn't know that Ipswich were playing with a man advantage. Really disappointing, because something Kieran McKenna's done so well in his time as Ipswich manager is make an impression that Ipswich have got the extra man. That's what the Dynastian system, the way everything twists and turns and it's kind of schemed up to make it feel like Ipswich have an extra man. They did have an extra man this time, and it didn't feel like that or look like that for long spells of it, and that's ultimately a disappointment, and they weren't able to take advantage of it in the start of the second half, and actually found themselves behind, which was not...
Just before that goal, McKenna was ready to make a triple substitution. Chaplin, Ladapo, and
Kyle Edwards,
thank you. I'm always one short on those recaps. So it was a triple sub waiting to come on, and then Lincoln scored out of nowhere, and it's come in pretty controversial circumstances. A corner into the box. We're still none the wiser, having seen it once, who the foul is given against. There was a lot of tussling going on in the box. The referees pointed to the spot. Kieran McKenna's told us afterwards that the referees told him it was for inappropriate marking. Cameron Burgess, you spoke to, said that the referees told them it could have been given for any one of 4 or 5 infringements in the box. Jack Diamond's converted it, sent Walton the other way, and all of a sudden now Lincoln have got a lead, let alone a draw to protect.
Yeah, it's a puzzling one, that penalty, isn't it? McKenna's made the point, and rightly so, that you see that kind of jostling and jostling for position in every penalty area before every corner. But what I would say on the day here, the referee was on it every single time. He was telling the teams every single time. So there was an element of kind of you've been warned. Still a really quite bizarre penalty actually, and a frustrating one for Ipswich.
Yeah, we'll come on to McKenna's post-match comments on that in a minute, but just to kind of finish the game recap, Ipswich still have plenty of time to get back into that game. They did get an equaliser in the end, 81st minute. Chaplin, one of those three players who came on, I thought made a difference, livened Ipswich up. He put a lovely little sort of cute clipped pass into the box, and Cameron Humphreys, another one of the substitutes, with a really good stooping header to beat the goalkeeper. That a winner was coming, did you?
No, well, no, not in that point. There was a big chance for Freddie Ladapo in there, one of the other substitutes. Is it from, what was that, from Wes Burns? Big far post header, gets up and wins it, and Ladapo's then got a chance to turn that towards goal from 6 yards, and it's gone with his head and nowhere near enough power on that. You want your main number 9 to be gobbling up those from that kind of range, and that didn't happen here. And it's really as good as it got in terms of chances. Pot shots from range. Chaplin had a couple. Sam Morsey had some shots from range that were held by the keeper. Sadly, this time they weren't pushed back into the path of Connor Chaplin, which is how the equaliser came at Portsmouth a few days ago. And yeah, a draw it is. When at half time you'd have expected and hoped for so much more from Town.
Yeah. Kieran McKenna was spent a big chunk of his post-match assessment discussing the penalty decision for Lincoln and the referee, and once again highlighting how he feels that not a lot has gone in Ipswich's favour this season. I wonder if there's a little bit of deflection tactics from him there, someone who's grown up watching Manchester United, watching Sir Alex Ferguson, has learnt off Jose Mourinho. Just a little bit of deflection tactics today, because as we said at the very start of this video, that's now that's Ipswich out of the top 2. That is, I think, 14 points from their last 9 league games, which certainly isn't automatic promotion form, and it just maybe deflects away from some of these sort of recurring themes for Ipswich, some of these deficiencies that, yes, very easy on the eye, yes, they dominate possession, but we're not talking about 1 or 2 examples of them not being able to kill off these sort of games, and today's another example of that, isn't it?
Yeah, they're adding up now, home and away. The great hope at the moment is, of course, we're sitting here on January the 2nd in Peterborough services with the Christmas tree still behind us. We're still in the very early stages of January. The transfer window is open, and there's a hope from Ipswich and from Kieran McKenna that reinforcements are on the way. I think Ipswich need those reinforcements. There's an acceptance that Ipswich need those reinforcements just to give this season, that still has got so much promise in it, the boost that it needs, because it does need a boost. But there's still reason to be really positive about what this season could be.
Yeah,
they just need that boost, I think.
Definitely, if you want to put a bit of a positive spin on it, today there was a lot of illness, I think, affected the camp. It was an unchanged team at Portsmouth. I think a lot of that sickness bug caught up with the team today. McKenna said that if he'd have only gone with fully fit players, he'd have only had 3 players available today. Janoy Donatian was forced to come off at half time through that illness. Leif Davis, such an influential player, left out of the squad completely. Connor Chaplin, your top goal scorer, only fit enough to be on the bench today. So they've come through Portsmouth and Lincoln away, 2 tough games with 2 draws. And quite often we say win your home games, draw away, and that is the recipe, and they've done that over Christmas. So the fact we're sitting here talking about that being a little bit underwhelming and disappointing just shows you how high the bar is set for Ipswich Town this season. Still a long way to go. This Plymouth game at home on January 14th is looking absolutely huge now. We've got the FA Cup first against Rotherham next weekend at Portman Road, but long way to go. January transfer window is open. I think we can still err on the side of positivity at the moment, but we knew it was never going to be easy this season, and those bumps in the road are happening, aren't they? So yeah, let's wrap it up there. Let's get away from Peterborough services, and we'll see you next time.